Well, hey there, and welcome to this edition of B.E.P Talks, where wonderful guests from all industries, professions, all ages and stages of life and career come to share their beliefs, experiences, and passions. B.E.P, B-E-P. And they do so generously to inspire, motivate, educate, entertain, all of those things. And my true belief and experience, my own beliefs, experiences, and passions, is that every one of us will find ourselves in that story where we are supposed to find ourselves. So today I'm very, very excited to share our guest today. Her name is Samina Muqarab. Please welcome to today's stage, Samina Muqarab.
Hi, Beth. It's been so amazing to be here on BEP Talk. Thank you so much. I'm really excited for being on BEP Talk, and thank you for inviting me.
It is my absolute pleasure and honor to have you here today, Samina, and for so many reasons which we're about to um, discuss. I want to share an amazing introduction of you, of who you are, what you do. You're an author, you're an educator. As I mentioned, educating is a lot of the motivation to come on to BEP Talks. You are a true entrepreneur in the greatest sense of the word, a business leader, truly a leader among leaders. And you have such a very powerful story that is so empowering for other women to discover their own resilience, which I think we all kind of have within us, our ability to reinvent ourselves and to find purpose driven success at any stage of life and for any reason. So, I want to share with our viewers and listeners that you made a huge move from Pakistan to Canada. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And you built a very successful business through establishing multiple Kuman learning centers while helping students and families unlock their own potential. And through your work, through your speaking and writing, certainly we're going to talk about your amazing book, you truly inspire others. And I want to say, I believe you humble others in their own humility, realizing what is possible in each of our own lives. And I say that particularly for women, we're going to talk about that, who navigate transition, which often comes with uncertainty, fear, doubt, all of that, and how you have helped them to get past all of those things. So, again, I welcome you to BEP Talks.
Well,
So,
thank you.
what was your motivation? I mean, people move, they move around the corner, they move perhaps across a state, a city, a country. What was your motivation to move from Pakistan to Canada? Not exactly around the corner.
Yeah, thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Beth. I'm so humbled to be here. And I moved from Pakistan in 2006 to Canada. And the motive behind that was just to provide a good future to my children over here in Canada. Pakistan, I grew up over there. I'm so thankful to that country where I grew up, where I got my education. But the political situation over there is not that excellent. There is something going on the whole time, especially when we were moving from Pakistan. My husband and we decided to move from Pakistan to Canada. The reason behind that was safety. There was most of the time, because of the Taliban and the political situation, there were bombs, and the situation was not that great. And that was the reason that we decided to move our kids to a country where they can feel safe and where they can get their education and can thrive and can
Just,
impact other people.
how many
Yeah.
children do you have?
I have three, two boys and a girl.
Wonderful. Well, God bless you. He clearly has. And you established what we're calling learning centers, Kuman. Would
Yes.
you explain what a Kuman learning center is?
Yes, Kuman it's actually a franchise. Um, yeah, it's not that's something that I have created my own, but I did. I became a teacher over here in Canada first, and then I noticed that there is a huge learning gap in students' learning whenever I would teach to the kids. And the school system is great over here, but the teachers are so overwhelmed. It's so hard for them to fill up that gap between that learning. They keep on just going from one grade to the other, and
Yeah.
the gap gets bigger and bigger. So
Yes.
I thought about something that can help those kids to fill up that gap so they don't stay behind. And that's how I came across Kuman. And I applied for that franchise, and I opened my first center in 2015. And then after that, my husband opened his center. He was inspired by the philosophy. And then he opened his center in 2020. And then I just currently in 2026, I opened another center. So in Kuman, we help students with the math and reading skills. It's an after school math and reading program.
So it's kind of like tutoring, sort
It's
of.
kind of tutoring. We don't call it tutoring because the focus is on self-learning. But it's not that we help them directly with the school homework or anything. Kuman has its own curriculum that it follows, and then we assess students. We place them in a certain level, and they keep on progressing according to their own potential and their own
Beautiful.
speed. Yeah.
My goodness, could you make more common sense out of a statement than that? That every child can advance at his or her own level rather than it all starts with the date of birth and what you're supposed to be doing. And I think that without getting too much into this, but the um, the pandemic here in the United States, I mean, the pandemic obviously around the world, but in the
Yeah.
United States, the pandemic helped us uncover a lot of what was going on and a
Yeah.
lot of what was not going on in the
Yes.
educational system.
Yeah.
So, Kumon Learning Center, good for you. And congratulations, you now have three of them. And
Yeah.
are you seeing great results with the
I'm seeing
children's math and science?
wonderful, wonderful results, Beth. And it's so amazing when you see these kids thrive. Like they start with nothing, and then after a few months or a few years, because it's an individualized program, so everyone progress differently. But when you see that child, you could see from their posture that their head was down when they came from the for the assessment, and now they can walk with their heads up. And when they come and say, "Oh, I help with my teacher, I help my peers."
Beautiful.
In their math and reading homework or math and reading classwork, and that's so amazing to see that. Yeah.
Oh, it has to be. Wow, what a way to put in a day's work. You know, teaching kids math and science, obviously necessary, wonderful, but to give them a sense of self-pride and
Yes,
self-esteem
and confidence. Yeah.
and confidence, I think
Yes.
trumps everything. Trumps
Yes.
everything. So
Yeah.
God
For
bless. That
sure.
is a
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful mission that you're on. So aside, one of the things I mentioned is that you are an author. You wrote a book, the title which grabbed me right away,
Yes.
Pray, Plan, Proceed. First of all, I love alliteration. I love things that come in threes. Um, Talk to us about Pray, Plan, and Proceed, because I know that it's a very motivational book.
Yeah.
For you've as I said, people find themselves in the stories where they need to be found, but it's also a very practical blueprint. It's kind of a plan.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. So I like writing, and I would not say I'm the best writer because English is my second language. But I like to write. So I used to do journaling every morning, and I would write something, whatever I'm thankful for, whatever my plans and goals are, and whatever I want my kids to read if they find my journal. So I used to write
Oh,
something, and whenever I would review my writing, it was just showing me the same three steps, like whatever I worked or whatever I planned to do. It was like I always ground myself, think about it, comfort myself, pray about it, that wish myself all the best, and then I do my planning. Like praying just itself, I think it will be just a wish list, right? So I do my planning. How can I fulfill my wish? Like, what do I need to do? And then I don't stop over there. I take the action. So that's how I came up with these three words: pray, plan, proceed. And then I thought about, there are lots of women and lots of people who stop on one or the other step. So I think it's very important to just write about it. Maybe someone would get benefit from that. So that's how I came up with the title.
Oh, I love it. So I'm going to add another P. I'm going to say practice.
Yeah.
Practical, all those things that it makes so much. I love common sense. I love things that you can break down and say, that makes sense. Common sense, not so common maybe, but so specific to women, listen, change comes all of the time. You mentioned you are a mother of three. You're
Yeah.
seeing the changes in your children,
Yeah.
fosters changes in yourself, the transformation that we all go through in life. Life, learning, living, loving, laughing, hopefully, as life goes on. Some things just happen naturally. Some things have to be a little bit more carefully, as you say, planned.
Yeah.
Why do we pray? I mean, I know why we pray. I pray every day. Why do we pray and imagine in our minds, but really don't plan? And without a plan, you can't proceed. Why do we continue to get in our own way?
So like if I would take my example of my teaching certification over here in Canada, when I came in, people would tell me it's too hard to become a certified teacher over here. Because especially in Alberta, because of your Pakistani education might not be equivalent to the degrees or the credentials over here, or you don't have Canadian experience, or you are not trained as a Canadian teacher over here. And then it was my wish list. Like it was my desire to become a certified teacher over here. And then I didn't stop at that wish. I did some of my research, and it took me 5 years to take that certification, but I ended up getting it. So I planned. My English was not that great. I enrolled in ESL classes, English as a second language. I was not familiar with the Canadian culture, so I was not feeling comfortable teaching in a Canadian classroom. So I took odd jobs. I worked at Tim Horton. I worked like here and there, just survival jobs, to know more about the Canadian food, Canadian culture, even the slang language. And then I applied for a teaching job that didn't require a Canadian Alberta teaching certification. So that gave me a good experience. And then when I got my certification and I became a certified teacher over here, I was feeling totally comfortable with that. So I think that planning is super, super important. Whatever you do, you need to go through a process. It's not that you wish for something and you get it and you are good to go. Sometimes, as you mentioned, life happens. Sometimes you get you got a lottery or something. It's different. But if you want to do something practical, I think that planning is super, super important. That you need to go through that process.
Yeah, you just mentioned another very important keyword, let's say practical, that envisioning something, dreaming about it, picturing it is great. But if you really are very purpose driven
Yeah.
and you want it badly enough, it's just not going to fall from the heavens. You have to take action.
You must take action. Yeah.
And what
That's
I
true.
say about ACT, A-C-T, is to always compress time, to make a decision and get from where you are to where you want to be, to
Yes.
where you're purposefully driven to go in, and you said it took you 5 years,
Yeah.
but you did it. You took action, and you could have taken those 5 years to just keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
So,
True.
so is that the missing step? We're just not taking action. We're just dreamers.
I would say so, because I would give you examples of some of, like when I was going through all that process, I met a lot of people, and there were more capable immigrant women, and they were highly, highly educated, and they had high dreams, but they never took action because they were always afraid. They would say, "Oh, what
Yes.
if it didn't go? What if it didn't work out?" But I just feel like fear is natural.
Yes.
But if you keep on just feeling that fear and you don't take action because you are afraid, I think the courage is that you take action with that fear. And that's how, like, the first step is super, super important. It's not that you can get, like, you have to, as I mentioned, it took me 5 years because I took one step at a time. I didn't want to go through everything like super fast, and I couldn't even go through that, right? So just take the first step instead of just being afraid of taking action. Yeah,
Right. And the first step is the hardest.
it is. It's
But
definitely,
you
yeah.
can't take the second step if you haven't taken the first step. And I
Yeah.
always imagine that if it means enough to you, fear, well, fear kind of defines itself, but worse than fear or the potential, the 50-50 potential of overcoming it and or saying, wow, it wasn't that bad at all. What was it that I was fearing? The downside of that is to live with regret
Yes.
that you never even tried.
Yes, yeah. There is a common saying, I don't know the exactly words, but it says it's never too bad to fail, but it's too bad if you never take action, right? So I don't know the exact words, but it's important. Like failing is that's how you learn, but I
Exactly.
think taking
Yes.
action is important.
Right. Not succeeding does not equal failure. There's a
Yeah.
great saying that a setback is a setup for a comeback.
Yes,
And
yeah,
I love that
that's
saying.
very nice. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great, right? A setback is a setup for a comeback. And what it does, you get to cross something off the list and say, well, that didn't work. And some of the greatest inventors in the world historically, the light bulb took how many hundreds of tries
Yes,
before it was able to become a real thing.
yes.
And here in the United States, of course, Abraham Lincoln is such a prolific example of someone who had resilience and perseverance and lived with undying purpose.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
look
Yeah,
what he became.
yeah,
So the book, as I said, it's not just a motivational book, although it is. It's a blueprint.
yeah.
Is there a plan that you can share with us, other than pray, plan, proceed? Not that that doesn't speak for itself, but what should people do? Give us the blueprint. Summarize it
Okay,
for us,
yeah. So
please.
I have just my book in front of me. I was just before our interview, I was looking into it, and there was something that I thought is worth to share. And that's the other than the ripple effect, right? So it's on page 54 of my book, and it says RIPPLE. So R is for root in purpose. Start with a vision anchored in meaning, not ego. And I is for inspire others. Share it aloud. When you don't share, vision unspoken remains vision unfinished. So when you feel accountable when you share with someone. When I was writing my book, and when I would share with my friends and my family that I want to write a book, and they would start laughing. Oh, because I never wrote a book. So, are you sure? And then I just when I shared it, I just felt accountable. Oh, now I need to do it. So I is for inspire others. P, partner for growth. Seek mentorships, alliance, or collaborations. So when I was writing my book, I didn't know how to write a book, but I took some courses to learn how to write a book, right? So what should be the format and what should be, so that really, so I think that mentorship is super important. And then another piece, pay it forward. Invest in others' growth without immediate return. And that was my, for myself, when I was writing my book, it's just that other people could benefit from it. And right now, when my friends ask me, oh, you wrote a book, can you teach us how to write a book? And I love to do that. So, yeah, yeah. And then L is for lead by example. Let consistency in action speak louder than words. So again, it's not a one-day thing. Whatever you do, make sure you do it consistently. So it's not that I have written a book and now I sit down and don't do anything. I think I should spread the words and I should talk more about it. And then E is expand the circle. Ensure your vision lifts not just individuals but communities. And that's my dream for my book, that I want to convey my message wherever it's possible.
I love that. I missed what the R stands for. What was the R?
R is root in purpose. So start with the vision, which is actually pray.
I love it. I love taking a word and making it an acronym for something. And I have often used the ripple effect metaphorically. And what I love about it, that you say, start with a purpose,
Yeah.
be inspired, seek mentorship, pay it forward, lead by example, the best thing always, and to expand the circle. It's so generous. I always say when you see that ripple effect, it goes on and on for quite a while. The human eye stops being able to see it because it has expanded. It has gone into the communities. But the energy is still there. The energy is now, I'm picturing water. You drop a pebble in, you see the ripples. The energy is now under the water, and it keeps going until it reaches another shore. When you think about the power of that, I love that. So everybody think ripple. That is a beautiful and a very generous and also very practical. The P word, again, very, very practical. So you have to want it badly enough to want to do the work and to get over the bumps.
Yes.
Yeah. And get over that. So we said about a setback can be a setup for a comeback. I imagine you had some setbacks.
Oh, yeah, a lot. All the time.
All the time. And yet you kept going.
Keep on going. Like it's life, right? Life is not just a straight, smooth path, right?
No.
It has ups and downs. So I would share some of the setbacks that I had. It happens all the time, right? Like even if I take my childhood. I was born and raised in a very small village in Pakistan, where girls' education was there. We didn't have any girls' school. Like over there, we have girls' schools and boys' school, and there was just one boys' school. It was elementary school, and my father was an educator, so he loved education. But because of the community and because of the resources, he couldn't afford. We are 5 sisters, so I'm the youngest one. So all my sisters, they completed their elementary education in that boys' school, and after that, they were homeschooled. They were just self-learned. So they completed high schools, and then they got a teaching job in the local school. So that's how it for them. For me, I really wanted to get my education like in a real proper school. And the setback was that we didn't have the resources, but it was just my wish. So somehow I convinced my parents, and then I got into a boarding school, and where it was not the best, but at least I could get education in a school, right, in a proper school. And my dream was to become a doctor because so many women were struggling in our village to get, especially when they were in labor. Most of them died because of not being, the doctors were not convenient. And I couldn't get into med school. I couldn't qualify to get into the merit list. And then it was like a disaster for me. For the whole year, I cried every time. Like it was, but then I got up and I became a science teacher, a biology. I did completed my degree in biology. So throughout life, I think it happens all the time. There are setbacks, but every setback teaches you. Now I'm thankful that I'm not a doctor because over here in Canada it would be so hard to become a doctor again. But that taught me that you know what, like there is a purpose behind every
Yes.
setback. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. And to see the opportunities where they come. And
yeah,
you mentioned the word life. We've said it a couple of times. I say life is just a four-letter word. It happens. It gets in the way. We don't always plan for it. But for me, I've always said sometimes it grounds you. You stop and you think and you say, oh, I didn't see that coming then. I
yeah.
didn't see that happening now or in this way. And it causes you to stop. And when the dust settles, and as my mom always said, the best view is the rear view mirror.
Wow, that's
And you
beautiful.
see, and you
That's
can see,
beautiful.
ah, now I get it. Thank you. Because maybe that was the answer to the prayer, that you
Yes.
did not
Yeah.
become a doctor and that
Yes.
you were
Yeah.
able to do this. So, how many children, how many lives between you and your husband with your three Kumon learning centers, how many students have passed through those
Oh,
centers?
actually, I would say thousands.
You need to
Yes.
know that. You need to know that number and be so proud of it. Thousands. So talk about, my God, expanding the circle, the E in Ripple, expanding the circle. Because now if every one of those
Yeah.
impact 1,000
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so on and so on and so on, that's how that's how the world changes. That's how the
Yes.
world
Yeah.
grows.
Yeah.
And we
That's
see
true.
it happening all the time, not always for the best of reasons in our own personal opinions or based on our own beliefs or experiences, passions, BEP.
Yeah.
But when the dust settles, sometimes you can see, understand that there was a plan,
Yeah.
and perhaps it was
Yeah.
bigger than our own.
Yeah, for sure.
Perhaps it was bigger.
So, Beth, when I opened my Kuman Center in 2015, I think in the whole community of in Pakistani community, and in among women and in our family, I was the first one to start an educational business, something, right? So. And then I have a friend who was teaching in a high school, who was a math teacher and teaching in a high school. And she had some health issues. She would get so much tired because it's not easy to teach high school kids over here.
No, no.
And yeah, so she would get she loved her job, but she would get so much tired, like she couldn't continue to do that. So I suggested her, why don't you open a Kuman Center? I like it. I think you will like it as well. And she opened it. And then today she loves it, and she's so she's so thankful that I suggested her to do to open a Kuman Center. Then I had another friend who was doing babysitting, like daycare, day home, who was running a day home, and she did it for a few years. She had the working with the children background, and I suggested her too, but it was like she wanted to get a change. Like she didn't want to do the day home her whole life, and I suggested it to her, and she opened her Kuman Center. And then my husband opened, and then I have a sister-in-law who did a PhD in electrical engineering from Montreal. And she was looking for a job, but her children are little, and she couldn't do a 9 to 5 job because of her children, because she wanted to give her some time to her home as well. And she opened a Kumon Center. So the ripple effect is already over there in terms of business. Other than that, I have most of my staff, they are university and high school students that work with me. Yeah, so it's, and most of the time it's their first job. And I train them in a way to get them ready for the future workforce. So, I have some assistants, we call them Kuman assistants. So some of them have opened their own tutoring centers, and some of them, yeah, so they are already impacting lives over there other than the children. So I think whatever you do, it's always being a blessing when it
Yes.
impacts. Yeah.
Yeah. So wonderful. You are now being that mentor that you mentioned to go find a mentor. People have found you. So
Yeah.
now saying that with your assistants, that they're high school students, that they're part of the business per se,
Yeah.
and prepping for their own futures. There's layers here to this Kumon Learning Center. There's something for
Yes.
everybody.
Yeah.
I love it. This is a great day for me. I've had the pleasure of meeting you, but also to learn something new myself.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
always
Yeah.
what I
Yes.
think is a good day. So you mentioned that you start journaling. Do you still journal on a daily basis?
I still journal.
So what
Yes.
other daily habits can you suggest to our viewers and listeners um, to help them take what they're envisioning and to turn it into reality?
Yeah.
Give us some advice.
Yes. So the one thing that I love is getting up early. Yeah, I usually I tell my kids these days. Our father, he used to, like, just before sunrise, he would call us to get up. It's time to get up, and I would like it became a habit till now. When I was little, like maybe 4 or 5 years old, I got the habit of getting early since then. And with sunrise, everyone needs to be up, right? So that was as just a general rule in our home. And now till this day, I get up early and I do the most important work. Whatever. When I was writing my book, I wrote it in about 6 months, just 1 hour per day, every morning. Yeah, so that's the routine. I think it's super, super important. Getting up early. What my daily habits are. The first thing that I do, I pray. Obviously, I do a little exercise. Then I sit down and do my whatever important for me. So there is always one thing that I focus on at a time. So when I was writing my book, I would focus on my book at that time for that 1 hour, and then after that, I prepare the breakfast. Everyone is done, and then I go to the gym for like around, I would say 8:30 to 9:30. I go to the gym, and then after that, I come back and I get ready and go to work. And when after work, like work is work, 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 and Kuan Center is after school, so then it goes all the way to 7:30. And then when I go home, another good habit is that I'm still working on. Obviously, I'm not perfect as well. Go to bed early. So that's how when you get up, I go to bed. Even if I go to bed late, I have the habit of getting up early. But most of people they are tired if they don't go to bed early. And yeah, so and before I go to bed, I envision the whole day. I kind of reflect on the whole day, what went on, and then I just I pray again for being grateful for for having such a wonderful day today, and just envision the next day, what is going to happen the next day. So that's something that yeah, yeah.
That is, wow, that is a beautifully productive schedule to be on. You said about your dad. My dad also hated when we were like in bed too late.
Yeah.
And when we got older and we're going out on like Friday nights or something, or Saturday nights, the next morning he'd say, "Nope, the fact that you stayed out late doesn't mean you get to sleep late.
Yeah.
You still have to get up." And he always said, these were his words, "What's on your agenda?" What's your plan for the day?
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's
with my
beautiful.
brothers and sisters, we kind of say that. What's on your agenda? What do you have a plan for the day? And when you have a plan, for me, there's so much satisfaction. Listen, sometimes I make a list, including things that I've already done that day, just
Yeah.
for the pleasure of crossing it off.
That's
I will do that.
actually,
I will
yeah,
do that. Yes.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Actually, I think that should be like we usually I write it down what's going to be done next day, but I don't
Yeah.
cross it out. But it can
Oh,
release a lots of burden from you, right? So yeah,
oh, great. When you Yes, I did it all. I did it all.
yeah,
But
that's awesome. Yeah,
again, we're all different, which makes this a wonderful, wonderful world in which we live. Samina, the wisdom, and I want to say we've always heard a quote here: "Early to bed and early to rise makes man healthy, wealthy, and wise." And that goes for women too. Early to bed, early to
yeah,
rise.
definitely. Yeah.
Good, good habits. Good habits. Yes. So I cannot appreciate you enough and applaud you enough as well for, I'm going to say, the courage that you obviously had to move from Pakistan, which I'm assuming left a lot of family members behind, and
Yes.
hopefully there's been wonderful reunions, to come to Canada, or to go to Canada. I'm in the United States, to something that you really didn't know what was going to be waiting for you. And and I want to say this, the lucky people in Canada and those thousands of students who have gone didn't know what was waiting for them either. They were waiting for Samina. And there you were, and
Oh,
there you
thank you
were
so
able
much,
to
Beth. I really
serve,
appreciate
and you
it.
were
Yeah,
able to be that pebble to create that ripple effect.
yeah,
You
thank you
must
so
go to
much.
bed early. You must go to bed early so you can
Yeah, I'm still working on it. Yeah.
do it
I
all
don't go
over
to
again.
bed that late, but like it's, I think it should be earlier. Yeah.
Just share with us, what time you get into bed?
Around 11.
It's not early.
Oh, okay.
It's not so early. That's
Yeah.
when and you're getting up before the sun is up.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
In
God
summer,
bless.
it's earlier. In winter, it's around 6 o'clock. But in summer, it's around 5:30. Yeah,
Wow. Well,
yeah.
you put in a beautiful day. You have impacted the lives of so many. And I want to say, with total appreciation and gratitude, you've impacted my life today. And
Thank you
I
so
know
much. It's a pleasure. It's yeah,
it's mine.
yeah.
It's
I'm
truly,
so
truly
happy
is
to be
mine.
here, Beth. Yeah.
It is my absolute pleasure. And I want to say to all of our viewers, our listeners, go get the book, Pray, Plan, Proceed. Where can they get the book?
Oh, they can get it on Amazon.
Hello. Of course, you can
Yeah.
get it on Amazon. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And give us a website or an email address if you want people to be in touch with you. We'll include that. We'll
Okay.
put that in the information. We'll put
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Thank you
So,
so much.
Samina,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing a magnificent story, a beautiful vision, and dreams fulfilled.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Beth. It's been such a pleasure to be
Thank you.
here, and
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate that you talked in such a kind way, and it's so encouraging. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And I want to say to all of our viewers and our listeners, everybody has a story. Not the same. That's what makes it so wonderful. That's why it needs to be shared. That's why it deserves to be heard. Come
Yeah,
to
for
BEP
sure.
Talks. Go to BEPTalks.com. Find out how you can be a guest, as Samina has been my wonderful, beautiful guest today. We all have a story, and it can change the lives of other people when you share your beliefs, your experiences, and your passions. And as
Yes.
we always say at BEP Talks, until we talk again, may the best always be yet to come. And
Yeah.
until that time, bye for now.
Yeah. Thank you.